Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little different. I am going to be doing my May book haul and wrap up from my car later today. I just don't have a really good place to film right now because my husband does work from home Monday through Friday and he has lots of conference calls, so I'm not able to film in my normal location or really anywhere in my house because I'm a very loud talker and he has lots of conference calls. So I'm gonna film it from my car. I hope you don't mind. I have an appointment later today. I need to make a return later today. So I figured I'm already gonna be out and about in my car. So I just packaged up my books and we're gonna talk about them later on. But yeah, I really hope that you don't mind. I don't really know any alternatives. If you have any suggestions, please leave them down below in the comment section. But otherwise, just enjoy the video. Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry about the angle and I'm sorry we're coming to you from my car. Well, not my car, my husband's car. Today I'm here to share my May book haul and wrap up with you, and we're coming to you from my husband's car because it's the only place I could logically think to do this. It has been absolutely the hardest thing wanting to film a video and not being able to because my husband works from home now Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends he's there all the time. He's not going out with his friends. I'm not going out with my friends. Like, he's literally there all the time, and Monday through Friday he has all of these telephone meetings on speakerphone with a bunch of people, and they're going through like computer screens, and it's so complicated and so boring. So here we are in my husband's car. I know that was a long intro and I want to go ahead and jump in, but if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. Okay, so the first part we're gonna do is May was my official like last month of my book buying ban. I did talk about this on several different videos, and I posted the original video back in February, and I said that I wasn't going to buy any books for, let's see, it was March and April, and I 100% stuck with that. I still did get my book of the month. For May, I did not pick a book of the month book because none of them sounded like super interesting to me. Like, some of them sounded like, oh, okay, that's cool, but like not justifiable to use my credit on. So anyway, I did still manage to get a couple of books, so I want to share those with you first, and then we'll jump into the books that I read. The first one I received from Atria Books, and I'm so excited. I've read, it's Anxious People by Frederick Buckman. It doesn't come out until September 8th, but I'm still really excited about it, and I'm probably going to try to read it soon. I have read one other Frederick Buckman, and I enjoyed it, so I'm hoping I like this one as well. I also tried another one and didn't really care for that, so it's kind of like hit or miss whether I like them, but this one just sounds really interesting. It's about a group of strangers. They're like touring this apartment or something like that, and then they get held up, and so yeah, I don't want to like tell you too much because I don't know too much, but I'm just so grateful to the Atria team that sent me a copy of this. I love the cover, and I'm just really excited about it, and I do plan to do a review. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to film my review like if and when I can, and then I will have it posted closer to release date. So look for that in September. I also bought myself two other things. Well, I didn't buy that. That was sent to me. I bought a copy of Cruel Beautiful World by Caroline Leavitt. I read this way back in the day as an e-arc copy, and I absolutely loved it. I rated it like 4 or 5 stars, and I recently was talking to Jacqueline from We Be Bookin' about this, and yeah, I wanted her to read this, so I sent her a copy for her birthday, but then I also was like, and I don't have a copy for my shelf, so I've already read this, so I didn't feel like too bad ordering it for myself. So yeah, I got that. And then the last thing I got, if you watched my Read-A-Rama vlog, which I know it was quite long, but it was a week-long readathon, I did actually purchase this box set of The Selection, and the books inside are The Selection, The Elite, and The One, all by Kira Cass, and these are the UK covers and editions, so they're not floppy. They're not like super stiff, but I mean they kind of are. But yeah, I wanted to read this during Read-A-Rama because I didn't think I would be in the mood for what I originally picked out. and then I ended up reading what I originally picked out. So I felt kind of silly ordering this. And I have like no serious plans to read this anytime soon. So I don't know. Okay, so those are the books that I bought or received. I really just bought these, and then I received this. So those are the only really books that I, with like March's money. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and dive into my actual wrap up. Again, I apologize, we're doing this from my car, so bear with me. Okay, so the first book I read this month was The Last Mrs Parrish by Liv Constantine, and I really enjoyed this. I did see like the twist coming like a mile away, but I will say that I think it's still enjoyable and it's still well written. I think the comparison going into another book is what clued me into like what could possibly be happening, and then just like some dialogue and some scenes that were in here and some things that like wouldn't happen in real life if things were supposed to be, if that was considered normal, like that wouldn't happen. I felt like it was a setup. So I don't want to tell you too much going in, but it's basically about this lady, Amber, who's just fed up, tired of being a nobody. And she reaches out, she kind of inserts herself into this other woman's life and kind of, you know, starts seeming like they become friends and stuff like that. So I don't want to tell you too much going in, but I was actually really surprised at like how much I actually liked this, because I saw it around before and it wasn't until Jacqueline compared it to another book that I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get that book. So I read it, loved it, rated it 4 stars. The next book I read was a total shock. I read this, the first chapter of this for my Try a Chapter Tag thriller edition, and I absolutely loved this. It's The Perfect Wife by J.P. Delaney, and I ended up rating this 4 stars. And this is like a speculative fiction, sci-fi, drama, thriller. I don't know. It's basically about this guy that creates a robot to mimic his dead wife, and there's mysterious circumstances surrounding his wife's disappearance / death. So yeah, I really found this interesting. I read it quite fast for as chunky as it is, and I rated this one 4 stars as well. The next book that I read is The Real Michael Swann and I picked this up at the Book Exchange. I'm glad I did. I love the Book Exchange. I don't ever really use money there now. I just always use my store of credit. So that's like kind of been a blessing. But it's closed right now and I miss going. But I read this and I rated it 2 stars. The premise sounds really cool. It's this woman is waiting for her husband to get home. I guess he went on a job, and then she's on the phone with him, and then all of a sudden the line cuts out and she can't get in contact with him, and there's been like an explosion in New York City. He's at Penn Station and he's waiting for a train ride home. So she's freaking out, like, where's my husband? What's going on? And then she sees on the news that there was like a terrorist thing. Not really a terrorist thing, but there was like a, how did it describe it? A bomb goes off in Penn Station. So it didn't necessarily say terrorist attack, but a bomb goes off at Penn Station. And she's just wondering, is he alive? Is he dead? Like, where's my husband? And then as she goes searching for him, like different weird things happen. You also get the perspective of Michael and the things that led up to the explosion and so forth. It's just, I don't know, it was just really boring and it felt repetitive and I didn't really like it. So I rated this one 2 out of 5 stars. The next one I read, I did an entire vlog for, and that is The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson. I got this off a recommendation of my friend Amy. Her channel is Amy Reads. I will try to remember to link her down below. I absolutely loved this, and this is one that I just don't think that I will ever not remember the plot of, because once you know the title and what the Butterfly Garden is and you read this book, it's just like it's seared into your mind. So this is a twisted tale about this guy that kidnaps young women and he holds them hostage in this garden, and he calls it his butterfly garden because he tattoos butterfly wings, like realistic looking butterfly wings. Oh, this guy's walking his dogs and they're so cute. Oh. He tattoos these realistic butterfly wings on their backs, and he makes them wear certain dresses, and I think they have to wear their hair up so it doesn't cover the wings, and he rapes them repeatedly like they're his bitches, and it's so twisted and so sick. But what I really liked about it is I don't typically like books told like with FBI or police investigation or anything like that, but it opens up and one of the main characters is in the police station or FBI office or whatever it is, and she's telling the story of like what this place is, how she came to be there, and so forth, because there's been an accident, they've all been rescued, and yeah, so she's telling the story. So they'll ask her a question, and instead of just saying like the answer to the question, she like delves into a story. So you're kind of getting, you feel like you're kind of in the mix of like things that are going on in the garden, and then you kind of get flashes of what's going on in the like where they're interviewing her. What I will say about this is it's definitely twisted. Like I said, just the subject matter and stuff like that, I mean, is really kind of heavy, like the rape and some of the things that end up happening to some of the girls, because one of his sons is like really twisted and it's just not good. Like people die and there's abuse and just all of the things. So definitely look for trigger warnings if you're wanting to go into this. But it was just like, I know there's twisted people out there and I've seen movies like this and stuff, so it's just like really interesting to me. But I liked that it was from the perspective of the girls have been rescued, everything's okay, here's what happened in the past. So that was really interesting, and I rated that one 4 stars, but like it's kind of a 5. The only thing that like holds me back from giving it a 5, if the last, I don't know, 50 pages weren't there, like really it was the third part. And where does the third part even start? Okay, the third part starts on page, of course it never has a page number, on page 243, and it is a 276. So if these weren't in there, I just don't like the shift that it took, because you're like in the office, you're hearing all the stories, and then like as it starts closing up, it's like I think the author felt like there had to be something else, and I just don't think it needed that part. I think it could have just like ended there, like this is what happened. But I know there's other books in the series. It is the first book in a series, but I'm just not interested in continuing. I thought this was strong enough on its own, so in my eyes, it's a standalone. But if you're interested in more and you're interested in twisted stuff, like check it out. So all right, the next 3 books I read for Read-A-Rama. I have a whole vlog about them, and I know it was Asian Readathon this month too, so I also read these 2 for Asian Readathon. So the first book that I finished for Read-A-Rama was Jelly, that my friend Allie sent me. It's a middle grade story about this plus size main character who is just really in tune with life. And you're like, how? So I just really adored this. I talked a lot about it in my vlog. Definitely check it out. Allie has like a 5-minute review of it. I think she calls them like take 5s. Definitely check that out. It's just, it's so good, and it just like really makes you think. So if you like middle grade, if you like young adult, if you're an adult who likes those age range books targeted to those age ranges, I highly recommend you check this out. And then I reread Warcross, and then I read Wildcard, both for like Asian Readathon and Read-A-Rama because of the rainbow here on the cover. I also talked a lot about these. Basically, the series starts with a girl hacking into this virtual game, and then the head of the virtual game contacts her for a job. And I just liked the team dynamics, and yeah, it's just, it's sci-fi, but it's also like action-packed and thrilling. And I rated the first book 4 stars, which is the same rating I gave it the first time. And then the second book I ended up rating 3 stars because I just felt like the pacing was a little off, and you're kind of reading and it's a little boring actually. Like the first book really starts off like quickly and nicely, but the second book kind of starts off slow and you're like, what the heck? And then it literally starts just like action-packed, pedal to the metal, like will not let go. And then I just don't like some of the choices that the author made. Like, I think there were stronger choices that could have been made, but like, it's the author's story, not mine. So overall, it's like a YA sci-fi action-packed duology. So if you're looking for something like that, I still would recommend it. Okay, 2 more things and then we will wrap this up. So after Readorama, I wasn't really in that much of a reading mood. I just wanted a break, but I wanted to just pick up something I was going to read. I ended up picking something really small. I chose All Grown Up by Jamie Attenberg, and I actually picked through my TBR jar that I created earlier this year for Book of the Month books, and I picked 5, and I was going to try a chapter. I might do that later on in June, but yeah, this was one of the ones that I picked. I think I had my little slip in here. Yeah, I still have my little slip in here where I pulled it out of the TBR jar. But this is a really short, under 300 page, oh yeah, under 200 page. So it is 197 pages. So under 200 pages, story about a woman who is like in her upper 30s, like 38, 39, 40, and she is single. She doesn't want children, and this is just like non-linear vignettes of her life, her family, things that she goes through, sex she has with guys, just her job, her mom, and like her siblings and stuff like that. So it was interesting. It was okay, but I just rated it 3 stars. Some of them were more interesting than others. Some of my favorite parts on page 10 was, oh yeah, when she's talking about Facebook, and she goes, old college friends post links to reviews of it on Facebook wall and say things like, sounds like something you'd like, or this reminded me of you. I think, am I supposed to like this? I don't in fact like it. I dislike it. Where is my dislike button? Where do I click to scream? And I just loved that so much. And then she talks about her, like, I think it's her best friend, but she just says her friend Indigo. And she says, her mother is Trinidadian and her father is white. And everywhere I went with her, men would tell her she was exotic. And she would always reply, I'm not a bird or a flower. I'm a human being. So I just really liked, like, some of the messages in here, but I don't think all of the messages were as strong. So take it for what you will. Yeah, I rated this one 3 stars. But it's like a quick read, so... And then the last thing that I read, I mentioned I haven't really read anything since Readorama ended. I read this one like over the, I mean, even though it's so short, it's like under 200 pages, I still took my time with it. And it was like taking me a while to get through it just because like I haven't been motivated to read. I'm hoping that June rolls around and I'm like super motivated and like into it. But I DNF'd a lot of books this month and it was just, honestly, it's just been a struggle. But now that my book buying ban is officially over and I am planning to do a whole video about that, so keep your eyes out for that. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have started ordering books for my summer book haul and I am literally so excited. And oh my gosh, so I went to Target yesterday. I had to do like a whole thing, not to get into too many details, but I went by the book section and I saw that Amanda Lovelace had a new poetry collection out, and oh my god, you guys, I had to get it. Number one, look how gorgeous it is. I love the layout of her covers and like the spines. And then, so I picked it up. I was like, oh my gosh, a new Lovelace. So I picked it up and I was flipping through. And do you guys see this blue like hue of the little sketches? Like, I can't. It is so beautiful. Like, I just can't. So this is the first in a new poetry collection series that she's gonna do. I think it might be a trilogy like her other trilogy. But on the back of this one it says, Dear Prince, if you tried to find me now, you wouldn't be able to. You see, when I finally learned how to love myself, everything about me changed. Love, the Princess. So this does have like an underlying current of like a Cinderella story type thing going on. What I thought is so important, and one thing that I always love about her poetry, and I've talked about this in my trigger warning, content warning video, is this poet puts trigger warnings right here in the beginning, and like, how much effort did that take? Like, is she gonna put everything? And in fact, let me read it to you. Trigger warning: this book contains sensitive material related to child abuse, toxic friendships, toxic romantic relationships, sexual harassment, eating disorders, fat phobia, suicide, trauma, and possibly more. Remember to practice self-care before, during, and after reading. So like, she's saying like, these are things that I know, but like maybe there could be something else. Do your own research, like be careful. And I just love it. I just love that she did that. Okay, so it also has a foreword by Nikita in here, Nikita Gill, and then it goes into a little note from the author, and then, oh my gosh, how pretty is that? And then it's so good, you guys. It's so good. It's 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Like, I think I rated some of her other poetry collections 5 stars. I know I liked some more than others, but like this one like trumps all of that. Like, this one is one of my new all-time favorites. I feel like I need to do like a new poetry collection favorites video. Let me know if you're interested, but I will literally be recommending this to every single person that asks me for a book recommendation. So if you're asking for book recommendations, I'm gonna recommend this. I'm just letting you know now. So it's gorgeous. I plan to do a full review of this, so I'm gonna try to keep my thoughts, like, you know, individual thoughts, and like I did tab some things up here for you. Like, it's so good, you guys. So I'm so glad that I like did break up my reading, because like I said, I haven't been reading anything, and it takes me, it's so quick to get one through her poetry collections, because they have illustrations, they have double spreads that are illustrated and art and stuff. So it's just, it's such a pretty collection. It goes so quickly, and the messages are so strong, and it's so cohesive. So if you're looking for something to break up your reading and you want a really good recommendation, a really good book to read, pick this one up. I would say that it's probably my favorite thing that I read this month. It has to be, because, well, Jelly was really good too, but I would say this one and then Jelly, because this one just was like, it was real good, y'all. But poetry favorite and book favorite is Jelly. So anyway, that wraps up the month of May. It was a really crazy month. I'm sweating right now, so it's time to wrap this baby up. But like I said at the beginning, I'm sorry that I'm having to come to you from my husband's car. It's just what I'm trying to do to make sure you guys are still getting the content that you need in your life. So if you have any other recommendations of places to film when you can't really film at home, like, let me know. I was wondering if my library is gonna like open up, and I know they have these rooms, like these study rooms you can go in. I don't know how soundproof they are though. I need a place to film. That's what I need. I need a place to film. So anyway, that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're all having a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye.